if everything we say is just absolute garbage, right? Why do these master apologists? Why are they never able to leave their own platform? We've all been around. Why are they stuck in their chairs on their channels? Like, isn't that odd? Like, for example, let's take the Christian King's example of asking someone for a drop of virgin milk. I mean, excuse me. I mean, for a debate with William Albrecht about Mariology, right? And then William goes, "I won't debate you." So a guy who's supposed to be not serious wants to take on, quote unquote, out of their own mouth, one of the best Mariologists in the whole world. You talk about should be a TKO first round, and dude's like, "No, I'm not going to debate." Wait, huh? But then the people come, then the underling or the people who listen to these people come to us and go, "You won't debate so and so," and it's like, "But we have."
Yeah, and people go, "You got cooked by William," and I'm like, "Show me where I got cooked by William." I'm like, "Go and watch the video, set up the timestamps, let me know the topic, exactly where I got cooked, and let's have a conversation." And nobody showed up. I've been asking that ever since I talked to William, and nobody has shown up yet.
Alton, you did get cooked by William, bro.
How? Okay.
I can tell you exactly how, brother. I can tell you exactly how. Remember when you tried to say that, hey, Mary had to go through a purification ritual, and then William literally had to walk you through the scriptures, bro. You didn't even know that the whole family went through the purification ritual. So if you're saying that about Mary, you're saying that about Jesus. So he cooked you, bro.
No. What I asked was, if Mary was pure, if she was sinless, if she was pure, why would a pure person have to be purified if they're already pure?
Why would Jesus have to do it, Alton?
No, that's the question that I'm asking you. She's already
because
sinless.
they were obedient. They were obedient Jews. They're going by what the law has them to do. Now, they're obedient Jews.
Okay, now what Jesus said.
Which verse did Jesus have to do that?
The whole family went through the purification ritual. Christian King, go ahead, look it up. I don't have my computer with me right now.
Because what I brought up to him was that even like when Jesus got baptized, what was Jesus' response? He says he was doing that to fulfill.
But John is who said it. John said he was getting baptized so they would know who he was. In other words,
right?
It's in the 30s, I believe.
Yeah, so it was basically to fulfill the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Of the coming Messiah. So I wanted to know, and that's why I asked William, show me why did a person who was sinless had to be purified? Because if you actually go to the text, it says that every male child that opens the womb, every child that opens the womb of a woman, that woman is deemed unclean.
So I had to open me? Something.
Oh, I'm lagging. Am I lagging?
I hear you fine. I would say for here, I hear you fine.
Okay, because yeah, I think it was. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's bring up the verse about Mary. Let's bring up the Mary verse. Bring it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring up the slide that I was talking to William about. So let's see if we can bring that up.
Bring it up. I'm gonna open my Bible.
SF, can you mute up when you're not talking? SF, can you mute up when you're not talking, please?
All right. So yeah, this is what I brought up right here. Luke 2:22. When the time for their purification, when the time came for their purification, according to the law of Moses, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every male who first opens the womb shall be called holy to the Lord, and to offer sacrifice according to what is said in the law of the Lord, a pair of two turtle doves and 2 young pigeons. So my question was, if she was sinless and if she was pure, then why would she have to go through a purification process according to this?
She's obviously being obedient to the law, right?
So was she ever deemed unclean?
Even if she was sinless, she's being obedient to the law, right? Just like Jesus was obedient, just like they presented Jesus, just like they did all the purifications for every single one person in the family, bro. Not just them. The whole family went through the rituals.
Now, the reason why we talked about this was because he believes. Now, I want to ask you, do you believe that Mary was sinless?
Of course, I do.
Okay. So is that what the church father said?
One question. I just got one question. Where in the Bible does it say Mary is sinful, though?
Wait. We got a question before we got an answer. because we went.
I'm just saying, y'all.
Yeah, but
Y'all
when
adding to
hold on,
Bible
the reason I
because
said
nowhere
it is
in the
because he
Bible.
asked about the church fathers,
No,
and then
but
you asked
nowhere
for
in
the
the Bible
Bible.
does it say Mary is sinful. So
Okay.
if we gonna
Yeah,
add,
actually, okay. Hold on. Okay,
we
this is
gonna
great.
add. We gonna add. Are we
This,
gonna
this
add?
is
Let's
great.
let me answer Alton real quick.
Same
Let me
thing.
answer
Yeah,
Alton.
Did Mary have
I want to
sex?
hear this.
Did Mary have sex or no? Because if you hear a Protestant tell it, Mary was the whore of Babylon. So where
Take
in
it
the
easy,
Bible?
brother.
Man,
Take
this
it easy.
dude, he's on
Where in
the
the
hype
Bible?
train.
Chill,
I'm
bro.
gonna answer his question though. I'll answer his question. I have no problem.
SF, you're correct, bro. But
I got to put him in the back because he's manifesting a little bit. So until he can calm down, then we can have a conversation. All right. So okay. So you're saying that Mary was sinless.
Yep.
And she never had sexual relations or anything like that.
Nope. She's a perpetual virgin.
Did all of the church fathers believe that?
I'm not an expert on the church fathers, but I know that majority of the church fathers believe that. Yeah.
Okay, so where do you get this idea that Mary was sinless and then she didn't have any relations with men, or I'm sorry, with her husband?
So we get the idea of the perpetual virginity. We get that from the sacred tradition, right?
Okay, where did that tradition come from? Very important. Huh?
Say that one more time.
When was the first time? I'm gonna ask you like this: when was the first time that the doctrine of Mary's perpetual virginity was instituted to the church?
I told you I'm not an expert on the fathers. I rather use the Bible. Like listen, when we talk about her sinlessness.
Well, let me tell you, it was the proto-evangelium of James. That is
there you go.
that is the source that they go back to, which is basically what some scholars consider a Gnostic writing.
Didn't the Pope say that book should be thrown out or something like that? Wasn't there a Pope?
That was the Galatian decree. And the Galatian decree. And I brought that up to William, and William said, "Oh, well, that's not true." And I'm just like, no, actually, when you do some research on it, that's how. Even when people talk about like the canon and all of that stuff, a lot of people go back to the Galatian decree, and I forgot it's a council. I can't remember the name of the council, but that's where the Galatian decree is, and it talks about the books of the Bible, and it talks about the proto-evangelium of James, and why it should not be included into the text. So when you talk about you want to go to the Bible, you'll never get that Mary was a perpetual virgin based on the Bible.
Well, I can say based on the Bible, you can't even say that she wasn't a perpetual virgin. You can say the same thing as you, man.
Well,
turn it around on you.
Wise, you know that verse that you brought up in Luke 2, and this counter argument that I believe you said William said, this ritual, the purification ritual, is only for the mother because she's ceremonially unclean for 40 days. You see that in in the
okay, let's pull up the scripture. Let's pull up the scripture, Christian.
Right, let me finish
pull it up right here.
Luke 2:22.
The part
Bring it up.
about Jesus. The part about Jesus is is the dedication of the firstborn son, which you see in Exodus 13, which required the firstborn to be consecrated to the Lord. That's not a purification ritual.
Oh, Christian King, you know what? The Bible calls you a liar.
After giving birth.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead and finish, Christian King.
Yeah, so this purification ritual is for only the mother after giving birth.
All right.
Okay, let's read Luke 2:20. Luke 2:22. Let's read it. Right.
All right, we in it right now.
All right, right. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read it straight from my Bible. I got my Bible open right now.
Go ahead, sir.
Hold on, let me calm my little baby boy down. You go ahead and read it.
Yo, who is that crime? Is that Wise over there?
That's my baby, bro. That's my son.
That was you, brother. Sorry.
All right, Luke 2:22. And when the time came for their purification according to the law of Moses, they brought him up to Jerusalem.
Wait, stop right there.
Go ahead.
What did it say? What did it say? When it was time for who? Time for whose?
When the time for their purification.
Their purification, or was it say Mary, or does it say there?
Okay. Now, do you want me to just stop there? Or you want to keep reading?
That. Look at that. No, wait, what does it say right there? Are you saying it doesn't say there?
Brother, we're not Catholics. We don't read it. Just
read the whole thing, but you can't run away from that. It says there. Yes. So we're talking about the whole family when it's time for their purification.
Wise, bro, you got to chill out, man. Let people respond.
Let's read.
Go ahead, JP.
Context.
All right. All right, according to the law of Moses, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every male who first opens the womb shall be called holy, and to offer a sacrifice according to what is said in the law of the Lord, a pair of 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Okay, so is the turtle doves and the 2 young pigeons for the baby, or is that for the mother?
I know that you would say it's for the mother, right? But
No.
So
Okay.
why would the Bible?
No,
so you're saying the Bible
I
got
want
it
to be
wrong?
clear. I want to be clear. You're saying that the 2 turtle doves and the 2 pigeons is not for the mother, correct?
I honestly, I forget what you said about that. We can go back and check what it's for. Like, I know you like to bring up the whole.
No, I'm asking you. If you don't know, you could just say, well, you don't really know. But
I said I don't really know what that's pertaining to. But I do know that it says their purification. So
right,
you can't run away from that.
Right, because you're saying
Wise. If you look at the King James, it says her. But the reason why some it's because there's 2 things going on. There's a purification ritual for the mother and the dedication for the baby. And you see that in the context.
So now we're switching translations because it doesn't help your narrative.
No. Here we go.
And also, that's according to the law.
All right, so you see this
exactly.
right here,
Mary's
right?
being obedient.
Hold on, bro.
She was a great woman.
Bro, I can tell you can't filibuster, man. You got
Now you see this. This is. I'm in my logo software. So you see this little V right here, right? That is a scripture reference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click that. That's cited from Leviticus 12 and 8. So we're gonna click on this, and let's read Leviticus 12 and 8. All right. Hold on. Then she shall be clean. Okay, hold on. So it's talking about the woman who is unclean, right? So that means, according to what you're saying, this purification meant that Mary was unclean. All right, so it's talking about the baby. The baby needs to be circumcised on the 8th day, all of that.
Whoa.
Who is that?
Is that SF or something? Mute up. Whoever's not talking, mute up.
Yo, SF Mac is manifest.
All right. So here we go. 12 and 3. On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Then she shall continue for 33 days in the blood of her purification. The blood of her purifying. She shall not touch anything holy, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying are complete. But if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her menstruation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying for 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are complete, whether for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting a lamb a year old for a burnt offering, and a pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering. And she shall offer it before the Lord and make atonement for her. Then she shall be clean from the flow of her blood. This is the law for her who bears a child, either male or female. And if she cannot afford a lamb, then she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, one for a burnt offering and one for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Yeah, that is Leviticus 2 and 22.
They was killing turtles back then? That's crazy.
It doesn't really help your case, man. Like, we know that Mary was just being obedient, right? Okay. That's all she was doing. She's being obedient.
So she was giving sin offerings and she was sinless.
She was doing it to follow the law, right? She's a good Jew.
Can you show me that in scripture?
Well, obviously, she did.
It was only
bro, why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she do it? Imagine she would go there and she would not do it.
Bro. Can you ask him again, Christian King?
I'll ask him.
Where does it say that she was only doing that for obedience?
Correct.
Kind of obvious, bro. Right? I mean, look at this.
No, it's not.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the text, though. It says, "And when it came time
if you
for
have
who?"
a presupposition.
So when it came time for whose purification again? Their purification.
Okay, so does everybody have to give up the 2 turtle doves and the pigeons?
Every woman that had a child had to do that, bro. Every woman that had a child.
But you said there. You keep talking about there.
Why? Okay, so the Bible said that for no reason. Okay.
Okay, right, because you're not you want to bring up, oh, well, it's for everybody. Everybody had to be purified, but it clearly says that the turtle doves is the offering for the woman because of childbirth.
That's fine. That was part of her purification, but obviously all of them had to go to a purification ritual, right? So you're saying Jesus had to too.
No,
so Jesus was. Oh, wait. Let's go back to that law too, because I noticed something, right? It said that. Oh
gosh. All right, bro.
I said that it said something like this. What did it say? That she can't touch anything holy, right? Yeah. So you say Mary couldn't touch Jesus the whole time? She didn't touch Jesus because Jesus was holy.
Okay.
Right. Oh,
so how did Mary become clean?
She was just following. She was already clean. She was just following the law like a good Jew. That's literally what she was doing.
Okay. So right here. In verse 8, Leviticus 12:8, and the priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
It doesn't apply to Mary, bro. She's only following the law, bro.
Oh,
that's what she's doing.
Bro.
Just like Jesus followed the law, just like.
Bro, I like that. I like that right now.
I like that right there. I like that game. You got to put the where he says snake. That's funny.
I was, but people might be like, who is Snake? And I don't want to answer that question every time I play it.
Real quickly, no, because that is interesting. I would admit that going through the context itself, I would say that Alton didn't get cooked in that point. But
hey, thank you guys for watching the video. Go ahead and hit that like button, and if you like this particular content, hit that subscribe button as well if you have not done so. Also, check out this most recent video that I've done right here, or check out some of these other videos that I've done concerning the same topic. All right, you guys have a blessed day.